Knut, we're sitting in NorShipping Oslo. Just your very simple impressions. How has NorShipping been so far, and how is it just being back out with your clients, your friends, and your colleagues?
It's amazing, Greg. Just to be back, just to take in the atmosphere, the noise, the vibrations. It just feels so great. And I think for us, it's been tremendous to connect with both existing customers, new customers, but also the wider stakeholder community. And it really feels so great to be back after 2 years being locked into Zoom or Teams or whatever it might have been.
Absolutely. Well, having been coming to Oslo for NorShipping since 1993, I'm very happy to be out too, but I must admit I like the weather better in June than I do in April, because it feels exactly as it does back in New York at the moment.
Exactly. We are all longing for this to take place in June, and we will certainly have the barbecue at our offices again near to the fjord, and I think that's a great meeting venue. 3,000 people coming together next time.
Absolutely next time. So Knut, obviously the DNV stand has been as busy as ever. Every time I seem to pass by here, there's another announcement of another AIP. I noted one specifically yesterday with the AIP for Knutsen carbon carriers, the new tank system for the transport of liquid CO2. Can we talk about some of these ESG issues, some of these innovative technologies that you and your colleagues are seeing to take carbon out of the environment?
So true. And we talked about earlier about the maritime renaissance, right? How innovations are going to scale up because we are facing this grand challenge of decarbonization, and that really requires a lot of innovation, initiative, and new thinking. And this AIP as an example, I think it is just great, because what is really transportation of liquid CO2? Well, you have to put it into the context of trying to capture the carbon, store it and transport it and bring it to a safe deposit, right? So for us to create a long bridge for gas, for instance, creating the blue gas, we need to capture and store the CO2. And whilst we are developing the green fuels, we need that bridge to take us from where we are today into sort of the zero carbon future. And that's why the capture of CO2 is so important. But when you do capture it in time, you also need to transport it and to have vessels that are capable of transporting this from the collection points towards the places where you can pipe it into the reservoirs or underground storage. That is quite a new commercial trade that needs vessels, needs technology, and needs companies like Knutsen and NYK to set up this carbon carrier concept. And while these companies are trailblazing in every aspect, also regulations are not, say, made for these kind of transportation vessels. So that's where you need someone like DNV to try and find the best possible combination of existing regulations, risk-based approaches to make it, say, viable from a safety point of view. And I think this is one of the forerunners, and we will see others with other concepts, but I really would like to applaud both Knutsen and NYK for taking the initiative, and that is maritime renaissance.
That's excellent. That's what we call the tip of the iceberg as well. I'm sure there's a lot more innovation coming. So, sure. Knut, I know this has been a very busy show. I just had one more question for you. Obviously, we're coming now out of COVID. There's been a lot of challenges, there's been a lot of opportunities, but when you have time to reflect now, and now obviously we're all out and back with each other in person, how has COVID materially optimized your operations, and what can ship owners and what can the industry in general expect from DNV in the coming year?
Yeah. No, I think, of course, there are so many things we have done digitally, and I think, on a personal level, but naturally also on a corporate level. And for us, the remote inspection technologies, the way we can serve vessels without really being in attendance, but also the way we are using artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms to really make our responses much quicker on some of the many questions that comes from our customers. And I think these are really, that is really the core of digitalization for us. And then I would say that in these times when the tension is building between the geopolitical forces, we really need also to look at the flip side of digitalization, and that is really the cybersecurity issues. And as vessels become more connected, certainly to make sure that we can look after the cybersecurity, to make sure that vessels, cargo and crew are safe. And that's where we just end of last year bought a cybersecurity company with more than 100 experts. And I think the combination of cybersecurity expertise and domain knowledge is really something that we can bring to the maritime world and really offer this year as a new sort of feature, if you like. And then, of course, foresight and insights into the many changes that are happening in this transformation of where we are today and where we are being tomorrow. That's where you need competence and breadth. And I think for DNV, spanning both the maritime, the energy systems, but also the supply chains, I think makes a great offer to the industry, and that's what we hope to bring.